Here's the exact Primal at home training split. Bro, I try to circle the training split that you need for an aesthetic physique. So you guys are probably asking, why am I talking about this in the first place? Why do I did I put unter method in the thumbnail? And why did I put Mikasa here? This is like the most, before I even continue on with this video, this is the most handsome black man I've ever seen in my life. Anyways, let's get back to it. Probably asking yourself, why am I talking about the so-called untormented here, and why does this even matter, right? So why hunters? Why am I talking about primal hunters and the exact training split that will get you an aesthetic physique? Well, here's the first thing we got to understand about humans in the first place. We were always meant to be hunters, gatherers, and be basically moving every single day of our life. We were never meant to be sat at a desk. We're never meant to be standing all day at work. We're never meant to not be active, right? Being obese is not a normal thing. That is not something that normal humans should have. Like that, normal humans should not be obese or overweight. That is the number one thing we got to understand here. Why am I talking about hunters though? Because the modern day primal hunters, not modern day hunters, but primal hunters have the ideal lifestyle that we all need to copy to build an aesthetic physique. Now, granted, not all of them have muscle, right? But here's the thing, we could also learn from something from them due to mindset. You have Mukasa here, right? He has a pretty lean physique, pretty good physique, right? But he doesn't have muscle. And that department is very lacking. He doesn't have muscle, right? The guy doesn't even understand here. Probably doesn't even understand here that he can build even more muscle if he really focuses on it and goes to the gym or does what I'm about to tell you, aka push up, something that I always talk about in my shorts, right? He doesn't know that his true potential is this guy's potential right here. If Mukasa locks in, dude, I'm telling you, with the habits that he's grown over his years of life, his lifestyle, throughout his habits, the shit that he's been doing since he was a kid, if he locks in and understand that his true potential ceiling, every human, not even Mukasa, not even primal hunters, right? These normal humans, if we lock in and realize we could achieve this, right, with the mindsets of hunters, right, which I'm about to talk about, and also the split as well, we can achieve an aesthetic physique like this guy over here. If Mukasa locked in, guys, I'm telling you, this guy would probably even look better than this dude right here, man. Honestly. So the reason why I'm talking about hunters here is because of their lifestyle. We were never meant to sit down all day, not doing shit, or be obese, or just going to work, not working out, any of that. We were never meant to do that. We were meant to be hunters. We were meant to have a mindset that's sharp, a mindset that does not fear anything, a mindset that works hard, right? A mindset that's greedy, stays consistent, and just works day in and day out due to survival. If you do not work, if you do not run, if you do not go out there to go hunt, you will not survive. Your people will not survive. Your mom, your dad, your siblings, your friends would not survive. This is the conditions that primal hunters are dealing with, right? So I want to go ahead and get that mindset into you before I even tell you the exact split I'm talking about. Mukasa here, right? A primal hunter that knows nothing about social media, doesn't know he's even a beautiful, handsome man, bro. Let me stop glazing this dude, but doesn't even know that he is the ideal like facial structure for a man, right? Doesn't even know he has entourage. He doesn't know what that shit is. He doesn't even understand. That guy has the exact mindset that you're gonna need for the training split, right, that I am about to tell you, because it is going to be hard. Getting started will be hard. Get to the point where you can stay consistent will be hard, right? All of this will be hard, but you have to understand that your mindset comes first. So before I even tell you this training split, right, I want you to understand that none of this will be easy. Think of this as you surviving as a man in the modern day. You or leveling up as a man in the modern day. If you can get your physique to one of the best physiques out there, one of the best looking physiques, and mind you, by the way, when I say one of the best physique looking out there, it doesn't mean looking exactly like this guy over here where everything is maxed out. Look at this guy, chest maxed out, Shoulders maxed out, biceps, delts, everything is maxed out on this guy. Abs, everything, lean waist, everything is maxed out on this guy, right? I'm not talking about exactly this. This guy has a top 0.0.0.0.1 percentage physique, right? I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about looking really good to the point that you look better than the average person, right? The average Joe doesn't even understand that their potential is insane. They don't understand that humans can build one of the most attractive muscles, right? They don't understand that. They don't truly have that concept in their head yet. So if you even do what I'm about to tell you for the next 6 months and just gain a couple weights, a couple a couple weight and a couple more pounds of muscle, you're already better than 99% of other people out there, right? That's another thing as well. So which is another reason why I don't understand why some guys don't want to work out, just or they say, oh, I'm not genetically gifted with good insertions. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Even if you have bad hip dips, you do realize that you working out, you still look better than 99% of other men out there, right? Your competition is way lower than you actually think, like way lower. You would be honestly surprised by how low the competition is, bro. Like the race, the people ahead, right? It's a really small percentage. The people behind is a huge percentage. If that wasn't a thing, our society wouldn't function in the first place, right? Which is why we have rich people and we have poor people. We have middle class people. That's not really a thing. That's about to not really be a thing anymore. But I'm trying to get that mindset into your brain, right? That life is a race at the end of the day. The people who make excuses and don't realize that they have one of the best opportunities just by being human, right? Just by being a human, being able to understand that they can build muscles, right? They don't understand that shit. And I don't understand why. You gotta think as a hunter, right? As a hunter in the modern age day, if that makes sense, you have to understand that you're still trying to survive and better your life, right? You're maybe not having to rely on the fact that you're gonna need to hunt food every single day, but you're still gonna have to level up your life. Literally. And one of the best ways to do that is by building an aesthetic physique. Anyways, I know some of you guys are done with me yapping about the hunter mindset, and some of you are taking this seriously. Some of you are probably laughing at me right now and not taking any of this serious. But if you're that guy right now laughing at me, you're probably gonna look back on this a couple years from now and realize that what I'm telling you is the fucking truth. When you finally lock in and realize that, hey, this nigga was not lying. Life really is a fucking race. And I truly should have been thinking like a modern age hunter instead of a fucking bum, instead of a societal fucking sheep. Anyways, let me get on to the exact split that I do for to imitate the ants, to imitate a workout for hunters, bro. So we have cardio, right? One of the number one thing I always preach this, cardio will always be needed, even at any weight class. No matter how skinny you are, no matter how freaking big you are, dude, you will always need cardio. Once again, humans are conditioned to run, right? We are meant to be long distance runners. That's why we don't have fur, right? That's why we sweat, right? Because we were meant to do long distance running. We actually, an interesting fact, here's a little interesting fact. Back in the day, humans used to do long form hunting, right? So basically, we would chase animals, right? We would chase animals for miles upon miles upon miles. Because those animals had fur, we didn't. We got to sweat. Those animals would lay down, get tired, right? We would always catch up to them, no matter what, until they literally got so exhausted to the point that they couldn't move anymore. And that's when we would get our reward, right? By being patient, by running for a while. That's another lesson as well. Be patient, my guy. If you're following this guy, the exact guy that I'm about to tell you, you're not gonna see results instantly. You gotta realize that this takes months upon months of grits and consistency. But yes, cardio, right? Very important. Humans are meant to move. Again, to get this in your brain, humans are meant to move. And by the way, the split that I'm about to tell you, I do all of it in one day. Don't split this into different days, bro. Do not do it. I work out every single thing in a day, like an athlete, like an hunter would, if they were actually working out. I do everything in one day. So you have cardio here. I do 35-minute runs in my backyard. You're probably asking me, how did I get to this point of realizing that I needed to run in my backyard, or realizing the amount of minutes that I needed? The reason for this was because I didn't have access to the gym, right? So I started running circles in my backyard, and I started putting a timer. I realized that 35 minutes was the peak amount of time where I could burn enough calories, right, to get shredded and still aka build muscle. You could do more, but don't do less than that. Especially do more if you're on the bigger side and you're watching this video. I would advise maybe doing 40 minutes, but 35 minutes is that sweet spot where everything's just nice. And obviously you want to build up to this over time. I did not start out with 35 minutes. My stamina was not that good to the point where it was at 35 minutes when I first started out. So what you want to do is put on a start watch, like a stopwatch, and start running around your backyard. This is for the people that actually have a backyard and are doing the exact methods that I'm doing. I have other methods as well. I'll talk about it later on, right? Want to put on a timer. Want to run circles in your backyard until you're truly tired. This is what I did. Once you get truly tired, stop the timer. Note down the time. I'm pretty sure the first time I did this, I got like 13 minutes. That was my timer for the rest of the week. So for the rest of the weeks, I ran 30 minutes in my backyard, 5x. But like, this is starting out. So if you're starting out, 5x a week, right? A week for your workouts, 5x. So I did that 5 times. I ran 13 minutes in my backyard, 5 days a week, right? And then over the next week, I increased it by a minute, and now it was 14 minutes. You want to do that. You want to do that every week until you get to the point where you can do 35. Dude, I can't even, bro. Can't even write, bruh. But yes, you want to do that until you get to the point where you can do 35 minutes here. And that's just the method for the backyard. It is very nice. It is very efficient. You don't got to worry about somebody maybe attacking you or something. You can put in your headphones. You can still get that fresh air breeze. Imitate the even do the maladaptive daydream method. I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but go on my channel and you will see a video about maladaptive daydreaming and cardio. And I actually gave a full guide on that. And that actually helped me make my runs very easier. And for the people who don't have a backyard, right, I want you to either invest in a treadmill or do this really like writing it down, or run around your neighborhood. Not really down, write that down. And for that, you want to do a mile. You don't need to do more. If you want to do more and you're on the higher weight class and you want to do more, go ahead. But 1 mile is more than enough, right? Because we're still obviously trying to build muscle here for the other stuff I'm gonna talk about. For my guys that are on the bigger side, yeah, obviously maybe do more. 1 mile would be good enough though, because hey, 1 mile is that sweet spot, especially if you if you follow my diet. But I'm not even gonna talk about diet in this video, man. Just check the video before this and you're gonna see on me talk about diet on that. But yes, that's my full guide on cardio. Remember, you want to run 35 minutes around your backyard. If you have a backyard, build up to that though. If you have a treadmill, run a mile. If you don't have that, run around your neighborhood and do a 1 mile run, or run around somewhere, dude. Do a 1 mile run. Next up here will be pull-ups. We need pull-ups to build that muscle called lats, right? Because once we're really good at cardio, we're slimming down now. Our muscles are gonna start showing more. Our veins are gonna start showing more. Our abs are gonna start showing more. All of that, right? So you have pull-ups here. Pull-ups here build something called your lats. Your lats create that V taper that everybody talks about, right? The ideal V taper like this guy has here. This dude is just, his physique is nice, man. But yes, you get that V taper from the pull-ups. So for, yeah, for, you got to teach you this in the next section. But for pull-ups, you want to do 5x, 5 sets of 5, and increase it every week till you get to 5x of 20. This will be very hard, but remember, guys, again, that mindset, right? Everything is a race. You need to be ahead of everybody else. You need to be ahead of the competition. Because at the end of the day, nothing is sweet. Life is not sweet, my nigga. None of this shit is sweet. You either get ahead of this niggas or stay behind with them, bro. So 5x or 5 and increase it all the time until you get to 5x or 20. I always struggled with pull-ups and always fucking hated it, man. And honestly, a part of me was eating on pull-ups due to the fact that I was trying to avoid that pain. But then I really thought about it. If I was in a life or death situation right now, and I'm in the fucking wild, right? A lion is coming after me. Not even a lion. Lions are pretty slow. I can't outpace them niggas. I think. Um, or like a tiger's coming after my ass, right? Dude, am I gonna give up cause my legs are in fucking pain? Like, you feel me? Like what the fuck? What type of mindset is that? You know? So I finally started doing pull-ups and actually built my lats. Or this actually made my physique even better than it already was. Even though I didn't really need lats to look good to the average person, which is my old goal. As long as I look good to the average person, why would I need to do more? You know? But at the same time, it's like, hey, might as well do pull-ups. It helps build my lats. It makes my physique even better. So yes, that's the reason why you should do pull-ups. You remember 5x start with 5 sets of 5. If you can't even do 5, obviously do less than that, right? Then build up by one every single week. If that next week you're still not strong enough, obviously stay at the same base that you were at before. Bro, remember, you don't have to again, you don't have to over exert yourself, right? I know I'm talking about being very hardcore and training really hard. Obviously that's important here, but if you're not also visually seeing the progress, you're not gonna enjoy the workouts. Therefore, you're prone to quit earlier as well. So I want you to also understand that, hey, it is all right to stay at the same position. Just don't stay there for like more than 3 weeks, right? You want to obviously do progressive overload, but it is okay to stay at that same position if you feel like you're not strong enough. But after that 3 weeks, you should be strong enough, bro. Like, I feel like there's no excuses after that, my nigga. Literally no excuses. Let's stop here with big push-ups. Push-ups build basically everything on your upper body other than your back. They work on your back just a tiny bit. Um, other than your back. Work on your biceps just a tiny bit as well. And um that's it. It works on everything on your upper body other than that, honestly. So basically what your push-ups work on here is your chest. First off, this is what push-ups are really like made known for, right? Even before I knew anything about working out, I knew in my mind, like I knew that everybody talked about the fact that push-ups work on your chest, right? That's the main thing he talks about. The next thing that I just say talks about works on, right? The next thing that it works on here is your triceps, right? Very important factor for your for your arm muscles right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but for your arm muscles, this part right here is your tricep. That's basically like 70% of your arm, right? Very important. Because a lot of people, when you first start working out, you think this guy's the biggest. No, if you get this guy big as hell, your triceps, you're gonna look 30x bigger than you already are. So that's a good thing, right? Push-ups actually build one of the biggest muscles for your arms here, right? Which is your triceps, bro. Which is your triceps. That's what makes your arm really look big. Your biceps is what make them, I would say, pop, right? Like you get that little pop, that little bump, right? But triceps is truly what gives them that that width, like just that width that you can see. So yeah, it works on those stuff. For push-ups, you want to invest in a push-up board. This is a no argue this there should be no arguments about this at all. I feel like this is a need, absolute need. Invest in a push-up board. You have no other choice. No, you can't search up on Google what exact push-ups to do, how to position your hands. Yes, what happens when you actually try to do that. The thing that happens is you actually dead ass no, like, actually, listen to me, I tried this myself. You dead ass start doing it and then you get bored over time due to the fact that you're already overthinking if you're actually putting your hands right. You get bored over time and it's just not stimulating, if that makes sense, right? Your brain overthinks it and it's just inconvenient. Honestly, it's just really inconvenient because sometimes you will forget how to position your hands and stuff, and then you got to go back on Google again mid workout while you're already in flow state. Like, it just fucks everything up. But having a push-up board makes it way easier. You can just disconnect the thing, put it on the next connections. Like, it's just way easier, bro. Like, way easier. because a push-up board basically helps you target every muscle groups that you can target with push-ups. So that's why push-ups are important here. But yes, for push-ups, each section, I'm not talking about just one section here, bro. Each section that works on your triceps, your chest, your shoulder. Oh my god, I forgot to talk about shoulders. Shoulders, yes. Before I even continue with that, bro, shoulders are very important. Shoulders are very important for that aesthetic physique, right? This guy right here doesn't have the best shoulders I've seen out there, right? Probably because he has pretty good lats here, but shoulders are very important for that aesthetic physique. The reason for that is because it once again creates that width illusion that normal humans can see and be like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, so something is going on here, right? Creates that width. But anyways, yes. So you want to go ahead and get the positions on the push-up board that will work on your shoulders, your chest, your triceps, and whatever else is on there. Honestly, some push-up boards claim to work it back. I don't think so though. Probably just a marketing tactic. But yes, do that and stick it on each position. For each position here, you want to do 2x of 5 and build up until you can do 2 sets of 20 on each section. That should build up to over, probably, I do over, like, depending on your push-up board, I do over like 200 and something push-ups per workout. Per workout. Like, once you get to the point where you can do 2 sets of 20, you can do like 300 and something in a day. Like, like, it's so easy for me. And also, the fact that I'm doing that with a weighted backpack, not even like a small weighted backpack either, like a huge weighted backpack. Like, I wear a weighted vest with a backpack with a bunch of weight in there. So to really put into perspective just how effective push-ups are for me, I built my shoulders through it. I built my chest through it. I built my triceps through it. I built basically almost my whole upper body with it, bro. So push-ups is very important. If you do not do pull-ups, make sure you're doing push-ups, because I didn't do pull-ups, as some of you guys know, until later into this year. Like, literally until I recently just started doing lats, started building my lats, and they did get bigger. But before that, my shoulders were already built, so I didn't really need it until I really flexed, and then you could see my lats. But the average person doesn't even know what lats are, bro. So it's like I didn't care, but hey, honestly, I would say go ahead and build it. And the next step would be curls. For this, you will need some type of weight that you can curl with both arms at the same time, right? You can either do a big bag or something if you don't have the finances to go ahead and buy weights. I would highly tell you to go ahead and buy weights, so it makes things way easier. Once you get weights here, try and get to the point where you can get the highest amount of weights on there, and then start doing curls. For curls, I advise 5 sets of 5. A lot of people will argue with me here and be like, whoa, what the fuck you doing, man? You don't build more muscle by doing more sets. I don't give a fuck. Shut your mouth, bro. Honestly, I don't care. I do what has worked for me and what has worked for others as well, because I've told other people this advice and they've built really good muscle. So until you get to 5x of, believe it or not, 20 or 30, depending on the weight, man. If it's too light, dude, I'm sorry, you do gotta do 5 sets of 30, man. Off 5 sets, like, this shit sounds insane now that I'm saying it. Like, 5 sets of 30 curls. Some of you guys are probably like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude, man? Is he training for the Marines? No, I just want to build an aesthetic body, man. And that should be it. Usually I'll yap more about this, but it is late at night right now. It is 1:21. I'm pretty tired, man. The fact that you're still watching this video at 23 minutes, almost 24 minutes, means a lot to me, dude. Like, that gives me a lot of watch hour. Thank you so much. Remember to like and subscribe as well if you haven't already. If you want the exact aesthetic physique that I've built at home, the exact methods, the exact diet, all of that, check the link in the description of this video or the comment section as well. Life is about finding yourself, then creating yourself. Love y'all boys, man. Peace out. Mwah.